People always say that all I do is report bad news. It's like I'm looking for YouTube clicks or something. That is not the case. But there is nothing else to report right now. All it is bad news, and it would not be right for me to just like downplay what's going on and just like fluff up the market or try to manipulate the stats. I don't make any money from YouTube. I don't want to make any money from YouTube. If I don't sell a house, I don't eat. But I think we have a duty to just tell the stats the way they are. And so in this video, we're going to look at the stats that just came up from Oakville. These are straight from the Toronto Real Estate Board. And if you guys are thinking of buying or selling in Oakville, please watch this before you guys do anything, because it's bad news. Like the market is not great, but I think it's better to know upfront exactly what's going on, because you don't want to get set up for disappointment and you're locked up in a contract. So what's happening in Oakville for September? September, a little bit of good news actually. September was not the slowest month of the year we've had so far this year, for Oakville at least. I just covered Brampton, Mississauga, and Toronto. For pretty much every other cities, September has been the slowest month of the year so far, but not for Oakville, so I guess it's a little bit of good news. But if you compare it to the peak of the market, it is still down by more than half. So the market has slowed down by more than 50%, pretty much all across the board. But 191 homes sold in Oakville on the Toronto Real Estate Board for September. Now, somebody had asked me if I can compare, like a 4 years, just going back all the way to September 2019. So I did that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys do this, if you guys do like this kind of stuff, like just stats heavy, please like and subscribe, because that kind of cheers me up. And so this is September 2019, September 2020. You get the idea. This is the latest number, September 2022. So a detached house back in September 2019 was selling for 1.49, and now it is all the way up to 1.95. But if you guys check this out, like if you compare it to last year, it has dropped below what they were selling for last year. Now, and freehold townhouse, for example, they were selling for $892 in 2019 September, went up all the way to $958, crossed the $1 million mark, 1.19, and is still selling for 1.27. So freehold townhouses have not dropped too much in terms of like year by year comparison. A condo, for example, a condo in Oakville was selling for $576,000 in 2019. And now on average, these are average prices. I will get into median prices later on in the video. So on average, they're selling for $747,000 in September. But how much have they dropped this year since the peak of the market? Like how much have prices dropped in Oakville since the peak of the market this year, which was February and March for most categories? A detached house has dropped 22% in value since the peak of the market. So this is September price, and I'm comparing it to February and March. And a freehold townhouse is selling for 11% less than it was selling only a few months ago. And condos on average have dropped 17% since the peak of the market this year. Now let's get into the prices month by month. I'm going to do a month by month breakdown, average prices and median prices. But like I said before, if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe, and it would kind of help out the channel. So let's look at average prices. This is average for a detached. In January, they were selling for 2.49, and that was the peak of the market in terms of prices. And now it is selling for 1.95. That would make it a drop of $544,000 since January. This is average price. Now let's look at the median price, for example. Detached median, they were selling for $2.3 million in January. And in September, just a couple of weeks ago, they were selling for $1.6 million. That would make it a drop of $700,000 in only 8-9 months. That is a big drop. You're losing almost $100,000 per month. So freehold townhouses, on average, they were selling for 1.433 in January, and now they're selling for 1.27, like I showed you guys before, $1,271,000, and that would make it a drop of $161,000. That's average price for a freehold townhouse in Oakville. If you guys want to look at the median price for a freehold townhouse, they were selling for 1.4 in January, $1,406,000, and now they are selling for 1.18. But like I mentioned before, there is a little bit of good news for Oakville, not a lot. I would not say the market has bottomed out. Like, I'm not trying to give false hope or anything, but September was not the slowest month of the year so far, so that is a little bit of good news. And also, in terms of at least the freehold townhouses, the prices they're selling for in September is almost the same price as they were selling for in May. And this is median. Now let's look at average. Same thing here, 1.27. They were selling for like about, yeah, like it's matching the price of April. So does that mean the market is on a rebound? I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't want to be that agent like, hey, yeah, sell your house, everything's back to normal. That's not the case. I'm just trying to point out the good where I see it, because lately for the past few months, all I've done is report bad news. So I don't want to be the bad news guy, but there's nothing else to report, honestly. But whenever I see a little bit of good news, I'll point it out. Right now, it's a minor ray of hope. I don't know if it continues in October, November, December, but generally I do know from experience that December, January, February are usually pretty slow for real estate, at least December and January. So I don't expect this to rebound anytime soon. Now let's look at condos on average. $839,000 is what they were selling for in January, and now they are selling for $741,000, $747,000, and that is a drop of $91,000. These are average prices. And for a median prices seem to be a bit more stable, especially in Oakville, because Oakville has like multi-million-dollar condos. So sometimes what will happen is like 3-4 of them will sell in 1 month, and it shoots up the value like $200,000 in 1 month. Doesn't mean the values went up $200,000. It just means you had a couple of high-end condos sell. So median prices tend to be a bit more stable. You can see here, like, they've been right around this mid 600s for the past 3-4 months. At least 6 months actually. So they're selling for $649 in September. And now let's do a price range breakdown. Let's see which price range is popular right now and which was popular back at the peak of the market. So at the peak of the market, this had the most number of sales. March was the busiest month of the year in terms of number of sales. Prices usually were the busiest, like in January and February. But at the peak of the market, the most popular price ranges were these three: 1 million to 1.5, 1.5 to 2, and 2 to 3. So a whole bunch of homes were selling like at least over 75, and like a whole bunch of them were selling over 100 homes for $1 million to $2 million. And now they have dropped to this. The most popular price range still remains 1 million to 1.5, but the blue line is 500 to $1 million. So this has creeped up because affordability has gone down. So a lot of people are moving down to, get whatever they can. And you can see here the $2 million to $3 million plus is all the way down here, selling less than 25 homes. Back at the peak of the market, they were selling over 75. So that is a breakdown by price range. If you guys want to check out some of the other videos I made one on Toronto. Toronto is struggling. September was the slowest month of the year for Toronto. I'll leave a link down below. And also Brampton. I just made one for Brampton for September as well. And I hope this kind of stuff helps you guys out. I'll see you next time. Thanks. See you.